Welcome to Sounds Like Adventure. I'm your host and DM, Jacob. And today, I'm joined by Jack, all by his lonesome.
Hello, it's me, Jack. G'day, Jacob.
How are we doing?
Very good. I'm jumping in today because we don't have an episode for you this week. We got afflicted by bugs and chaos last week, and unfortunately we didn't have a stream. But in favor of another actual play episode, we wanted to jump in here and talk about that city that we love, but maybe one that we could know a little bit more about. It's that city of Brisk, of course. So Jacob, to start out, you're going to tell us a story of when the early city of Brisk faced a big threat that went on to form what it is today.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I've mentioned it before, but the Sky March was founded when King Iden lost his late queen. So this was something of around 300 to 400 years ago. Queen Marina passed. Now, this is at a point where sort of Brisk was prosperous, but not quite the untouchable monster that it sort of is today. And King Aidan and Queen Marina ruled not quite just as monarchs, but more of like symbols of unity between the common folk and the crown. Like Queen Marina would regularly wander the chill and occupy with the common folk. They were seen as symbols of unity, not of power. But signs started to happen in Brisk. Beings without shadows, sewer workers that reported that the tunnels were breathing, and children speaking of a tall man made of smoke watching them from doorways. Nowadays, I think that scholars and things would know that this was a Nightwalker of the Void. But back then, this was unheard of. So Nightwalker started its rampage. Not killing, but just unmaking. Streets it walked upon would just fade from memory. Guards and people just gone, leaving no bodies. The city guard tried to intervene, but failed. The early Sky March, which wasn't yet formalized as the Sky March, but still just sort of the elite guard, still couldn't stand up to the task. So King Iden and Queen Marina made a choice that I think few monarchs would. And fought it themselves. In this fight, they met the Dawnstrider, and she fought alongside them. Now, the confrontation occurred at some point, and King Aidan, Queen Marina, and Dawnstrider, who was at that point quite a young Deutschka on their pilgrimage, fought, and unfortunately Queen Marina was lost to the Void, along with the Nightwalker. So a pledge was made between the Deutschka and the city of Brisk in King Iden. Not a deal, but more of a covenant to ensure that nothing like this would happen again. So the Sky March was founded to ensure that the monarch would never have to step off their throne, and to ensure that the Nightwalker could be dealt with next time, and no threat would be too great.
Wow, that's pretty cool. So there are a few bits and pieces in that story there that I think we should jump out to the folks listening, of course. First of all, one question for you. You mentioned the chill. What is the chill for the folks listening?
So the chill is the entertainment district in Brisk. It's the place to be. Any traveling act, any act of renown or deserving of an award ends up at the chill. It's almost like the Vegas Strip, I guess. It's like where your shows come to really lay claim and be seen.
It's Broadway. It's the Great White Way. You come here, you tread the boards. So then the other thing that I think jumps out there is Dawnstrider, of course. So Dawnstrider, that's the person from the episode 1 who we met in the tavern. Is that correct?
Yeah, so Dawnstrider is the leader and founder of the Sky March. The first Deutschke to sort of make contact with Brisk in general, in any meaningful way.
So that also touches on, let's just talk about that. So the Deutschke briefly, because I know you'll talk a little bit more about how they came to be in Brisk. But that is, just for the folks at the home, this is the homebrew race that you've created. That's what Kess's character Nim is, correct?
Yes, so I created this along with Kess, but ultimately they're somewhat of an elven race, but guided by a Krana. So they're very emotionally tuned and in touch with the emotions of those around them. So feel their pain, feel their woes, feel their happiness. But they are quite a nomadic species and roam.
And you mentioned Okrana just then as well. So Okrana, that's a key god for this setting too. So what is Okrana the god of? Are they like the main god of the pantheon?
No. So Akrana is a lesser god. So Akrana came to being when the world Briskazon was formed. She's a god of nature, protection, growth, and guardianship. So she doesn't stand in the way and guard people, but ensures they have the power to stand at their own.
And then the Deutschke are very aligned with those ideals, would you say?
Yeah, absolutely. That's sort of a core being of them. Akrana guided the Deutschke into being, I think, from elven races. And they are who they are today from Akrana's guidance.
And so then Dawnstrider, they're the leader of the Sky March, and they too are also a Deutschke.
Yep, absolutely. And so after the incident with Queen Marina, the Deutschke now send one person from every generation to serve in the Sky March as a compact.
And Dawnstrider was alive at this point in time when the queen died. How long ago was that?
The Queen died 300-400 years ago, and Dawnstrider would have been quite young. And King Iden is quite old because he was already a king back then.
She looks good, man. I'll tell you what. Doesn't look it. She's done well. Okay. All super exciting. Much more for us to find out in the campaign as well. When are we back?
We're back next week, Jack. We're back this week for the live stream and next week for episodes in your podcast feed.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having me, Jacob.
And thanks for being here. This has been another episode of Sounds Like Adventure. I've been your host and DM, Jacob. As always, goodbye.
You want to go with that?
No, I don't, Jack.
Let's just do that. That'll be fun.
You've been listening to Sounds Like Adventure, an Australian podcast, YouTube channel, and Twitch stream. And if you liked what you heard, don't miss the next episode coming out on Tuesday next week. And to make sure you don't miss that episode, head over to the podcast app that you're listening to this on right now and press subscribe or follow the show. But with all that in mind, I'll catch you in the next episode of Sounds Like Adventure.